Feedback gathered from the 360-degree process usually comes from various sources, or raters, which can be both internal and external. Internal raters are team members, upper management, subordinates, workers from other teams, customers, and supervisors. Another important internal rater is the employee and their self-assessment. Self-assessments help to identify information gaps. For instance, if a rater comments that an employee isn't following appropriate procedures, but the employee details the training materials they follow, then an information gap is very likely. Other gaps, like gaps in perception, can surface when comparing with self-assessment scores. For example, someone may comment that they're more open, positive, and flexible, while someone else may comment with information to the contrary. External stakeholders can be assessment sources, particularly customers. Knowing how an employee's performance affects customer satisfaction can be important for developing a better relationship with customers. This feedback may give insight into what customers truly want and expect. Vendor feedback may also be a source for 360-degree feedback as well, as vendors play a major role in the supply chain. To determine whether external stakeholders would be able to give input on an employee, you may need to check if the employee has regular interactions with them. While there's no set number of raters that every manager is required to have, more raters can mean more helpful information, especially if the rater's responses are representative of normal and frequent interactions with the employee. But there are times when this doesn't happen, like when the feedback is biased or off-topic. Discerning unbiased and focused information is a central part of selecting which responses to use. You may choose to use a random selection. With random selection, each potential rater would have an equal chance of being selected. For example, if the employee is part of a 3-person team, a coin toss could decide which of the 2 team members is assigned to be the rater. If the employee is part of a larger team, say 5 or more, their names could be put in a box, and the name polled would be the rater. If the employee has a moderate number of customers, say 10 to 15, the same method could be applied. If customer volume is very high, software can be used to randomly select names from a database. There's still a chance that the randomly chosen rater could submit biased information, so discernment is still useful. But random selection can prevent what is called selection bias. Selection bias happens when not all potential raters have a chance to participate. A common cause of selection bias is convenience sampling, when the raters who are chosen are the easiest for the manager collecting the data. Selection bias can also occur when a manager picks and chooses raters based on favoritism. For example, if a manager always selects a particular team member because he gives very detailed reviews, the other team members' perspectives are excluded. Over time, this can create a narrowed focus of team expectations and can facilitate blind spots. Randomly selecting raters can prevent unexpected consequences like this from occurring. For quality information, managers may want a wide variety of unbiased responses. Many use random sampling to select the raters, and then once the responses are submitted, managers may seek to use the most impartial and detailed answers.